a lot of the things that we are thinking about now in our work, some of them came from science fiction first, and so a lot of us have kind of been inspired by this. But one thing we've learned from the Earth is that once life is sparked, life thrived and existed everywhere. In the next 10 to 50 years, most people kind of are estimating that will be the level where if it's out there, we can find it.
Last year, NASA launched a new planet-hunting satellite with the mission in mind of mapping the universe. This satellite, named TESS, is the predecessor of the Kepler mission, which was responsible for making groundbreaking discoveries.
Kepler found in total now several thousand planets. It told us unequivocally that planets are common. We know that planets are out there. We know that Earth-sized planets are out there. We even know that there are temperate kind of planets orbiting stars like the Sun. So I think Kepler's fundamentals kind of change in the way we can think about the Earth, in that the Earth is now no longer so special.
The satellite has already completed the mapping of the southern sector of the universe and is now starting to map the northern sector. This is Tom Barclay. When it was first launched, Tom, director of the TESS Science Support Center, spoke to me about their work with TESS. Now, we have edited the interview for this podcast series. Enjoy.
It's interesting how much of science influences science fiction. Of course, science fiction then influences science. A lot of the things that we are thinking about now in our work, some of them came from science fiction first, and so a lot of us have kind of been inspired by this. Looking for, the search for life for a lot of us comes from watching TV shows and movies where there is life beyond the solar system.
Purpose of trip?
Diplomatic mission.
Duration of stay?
Lunch.
Any fruits or vegetables?
I think the best example, a really interesting example is when we're thinking about one thing we found with Kepler is something called a circumbinary planet. So what you have is you have two stars orbiting each other, called a binary star. So that's kind of a common thing. You often have two stars that orbit each other. But we found planets that go around the outside of those two stars. So it's a planet that orbits two stars. So a circumbinary planet. That was actually first predicted in science fiction. And in fact, many scientists thought that such a system couldn't form, it wouldn't be stable. And then many years later, more calculations were done that were like, oh, it would be stable. And then with Kepler, we actually found them. We found about 10 of them. But the first book that I know of that had these in was a book by, I think, a Polish writer, Stanislaw Lem, called Solaris. And since then in science fiction, in Doctor Who is from a circumbinary planet called Gallifrey. Tatooine in Star Wars is a circumbinary planet. So there are a number of very famous examples in science fiction. So when we found it, that such things really exist. It was very exciting because it was inspired by science fiction writers. But in terms of looking for life beyond the Earth, there are kind of three main ways you'll do this. One is by looking in our own solar system. So many groups, NASA being one of them, are searching for life elsewhere in the solar system, be it on Mars or the moons of Saturn. And they're all very exciting places to look. In many cases, the way we're going to search for them is to actually go there and send something there and send something to look for them. Another way is to search for intelligent life. This is known as SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. And the way this is typically done has been by big radio telescopes. And the third way, the way that I'm kind of focused on, is searching for life by looking at atmospheres of other planets. So that really is much more focused on simple life. While of course we do impact our atmosphere, the main biological impactor on the Earth's atmosphere is bacterial life, simple life. And so I think the way I'm most interested in searching for life is searching for signs of simple life. One thing we've learned from the Earth is that once life is sparked, life thrives and existed everywhere. There are all these kind of things we call extremophiles that live in the most inhospitable environments. Like almost anywhere you look on Earth, you see life. But what we don't know is how easy it was for life to begin. And so if we see life could begin on other worlds, then I think we can be confident that life could thrive in the extreme environments around other planets.
What if you found, say, that you found that there was life in some other planet, there was life in one of the moons on Jupiter, but it wasn't really developed, it was just microbiological. Would this mean that we could still thrive? Because the Great Filter says that there's this massive obstacle, isn't it, that all civilizations have to go through if they want to survive. So would it mean that we have passed this filter, do you think? Or if we found somewhere that has runes that look like runes, how would this impact on the space exploration? How would you think it would impact it?
In terms of finding life in our own solar system would be unbelievably exciting. But I don't think we could ever be confident that there wasn't cross fertilization between our planet and these other planets, and that these life didn't appear independently. But if we found life beyond the solar system, we can be relatively confident that life is appearing independently of each other, and therefore that life is a natural thing to happen in our galaxy. It's from physics. It's causing it to happen rather than a one-time anomaly. Every time we've learned more about our own place in the universe, we've become less and less special. From thinking, from going from geocentrism to helio, to realizing we orbit the sun, to realizing there are lots of stars, to realizing the stars go around a galaxy, and there are many galaxies. Each galaxy has 100 billion stars or more. I don't think I wouldn't do what I do if I didn't think there was life out there. But I'd love to discover some. I think we are now, in the next 10 to 50 years, most people kind of are estimating that we'll be the level where if it's out there, we could find it.
So you don't think there would be this great obstacle, it's all up to us? There's not this set obstacle that everyone has to pass, it's more how we develop and how we construct societies. Do you think it's more of that?
Well, I don't know.
No? Okay, that's fine.
I'd like that to be. It'd be interesting to find history of life elsewhere. The goal of what we're doing, the whole goal of NASA's work on planets around other stars, is to answer the question: are we alone? And I think whatever the answer to that question is profound. Is fundamentally will change the way we think about ourselves. If we are alone, that's such an astounding answer that it is almost unbelievable. How could we be that special, and how could we be that lucky? It would be really shocking. If we're not alone, that is equally shocking, because I think it changes everything. The way we think about ourselves so much as a species is that we're out there, we need to solve things, we need to do things on our own, we're the only ones out there. But if we found out, just answering that, yes, there is other things out there, it changes, I think, the way we go about things. If we knew there was a possibility that we could see life elsewhere, it would change the way that we operate. I think we'd want to go and learn more about it. That inspire science and engineering to go and try and do that.